Coming soon to theaters. Podcasts, film reviews, and so much more. Available at tristanmiller.substack.com.
And now, our feature presentation.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Focus Testing, a podcast about movies where we make a movie. My name is Tristan Miller, and joining me today is Steven Lyons.
I'm drinking water.
How are you besides drinking water?
I am good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm good. Delicious water straight out of a refrigerator.
Yeah.
Oh, living the dream.
I love to pretend like we haven't been talking for an hour and a half before.
Yes, but now we're focused. Now
Yeah.
it's important talking.
Yes.
Before it was just chats.
Yeah. Just a wee bit of a chat. Do you remember the first movie you saw in the cinema?
I remember the first movie I remember seeing in the cinema.
Very good.
The movies before that, I know that I saw movies before that, but the one that I remember was I saw Who Framed Roger Rabbit at the Auckland Civic, and it was its first refurbishment. It's been since closed and then was refurbished. But I remember seeing it because I was way too young to see Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Yeah.
But it had cartoon characters in it, so my parents are like, "You're gonna love this. No one melts."
I had a similar experience with Roger Rabbit because my uncle was watching it. I came into the room and it was so horny, the scene. I was like, is my uncle watching pornography right now?
A little.
And kind of.
Yeah,
The answer was kind of.
Kind of.
Did you like the film?
I mean, who doesn't like? I mean, it's a great film.
Okay.
I don't remember that much of the film because the thing about the Civic in that refurbishment is they have these two beautiful, I think they're lions that sit either side of the screen, and they'd put tiny little red lights in the eyes of the lions.
That's terrifying.
Yes, it was very terrifying. And then so I kind of skipped. My memory of it is skipping from being horrified by what's happening on screen to being horrified by this lion that's just got like a red glare that's just staring at me.
Mm-hmm.
But I've seen the movie since, and it is very good.
Nice. You do comedy.
Sometimes.
How and why?
Some people say I don't, but
True.
Arguably that's where some of my income arrives from.
Well, that's not necessarily a judge of whether or not you do something, is
Good
it?
point. Ooh,
Yeah.
yikes, capitalism.
Yeesh. But how did you start doing that?
I think tragically I would say I'm a middle child.
Yeah, okay.
Hey, Mom, look at me. No, I'm busy. All right. How do I get other people's attention?
Sure.
I think I grew up watching a lot of comedy.
Yeah.
We had like in New Zealand, we had I think it was like Friday nights on Channel 1. If you stuck around long enough, there was like Young Ones and Blackadder and Whose Line Is It Anyway? I think it was on TV2. And so like those were kind of like oh my goodness, like this is fun. This is like, this makes me happy.
Yeah, nice.
And then I'm sure that was kind of ingrained in me through like high school and intermediate or middle school of like, oh, if you make a bully laugh, then they leave you alone briefly.
Yeah, I had a very similar experience to that, but I was also homeschooled, so it was weird.
Oh, Dad.
Yeah. So I have some movie trivia questions for you here.
I got a garbage brain, but I love pop culture.
There you go. The first one I asked everyone just to see the response. What is movie?
Movie is projection on screen. Cinema is timeline plus image plus sound equals story / emotion. All right.
Okay.
I would say it's either story or emotion.
You don't think they can be together? They're separate but
Never
equal.
they will meet.
Separate but equal.
No, they definitely should live together.
Yeah.
Ideally, but I also didn't want to I didn't want my definition to like discount like art house movies that you watch and you're like, dear God, I have no idea what happened, but I feel moved.
I understand. So it's nice when they overlap, but it's not required.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you're telling a story and there's no emotion involved, I think that's just fact.
Yeah, a documentary. No,
Yeah. Or that's called the Transformers
I was going to
franchise.
say any of the big blockbuster films that you don't like. For
Hey,
sure.
don't you say that. I got real teared up in one of the Fast and Furious. I can't remember which one, but man, I was emotional.
I've yet to see a Fast or Furious film.
Oh, they are Fast and Furious.
I hear they're very, very fun.
And a lot about family.
True. I've heard that.
Sometimes the cars go fast. Sometimes they go furious.
Damn. Next movie trivia question. Who is more fuckable, Gollum or Smeagol?
Smeagol.
You think?
Yeah, Gollum's too slimy.
You think?
Yeah.
You know, when you say slimy, do you mean emotionally or physically?
Both. Mostly physically. I was thinking physically. I'm like,
Okay.
that's, you want that, like, and hey, if you're listening and you're a real slimy person.
puppy,
If
yeah.
you're a, is that the term?
Yeah,
It's
it
like,
absolutely
okay.
is.
If you're one of them sweet slime puppies, I have no judgment on that. All right. I'm just saying that if I was given an option, Smeagol, you can get slimy. But Gollum's already there.
I
Yeah.
gotcha,
It's like
gotcha.
turning up late to an orgy.
Now, I should say, when I say, I mostly mean personality. I'm not like, where there's that flashback scene.
Personality.
Yeah, personality-wise, who would you rather have sex with?
Who would you rather? Hey, personality wise, they're the same person.
That's not true. He's famously got more than one personality.
Like.
Do you like the nice one or do you like the little mean one? Do you
The
like to be
little-
negged?
No, I don't want to deal with Gollum.
Okay.
I would argue that I'm probably sure that a lot of people like you're either a Gollum or a Smeagol, and depending on which one, like no Gollum wants to be with another Gollum. We want a Smeagol to look after us, and no Smeagol wants to. Actually, Smeagol's you don't want to.
BuzzFeed quiz.
Yeah. I mean, you turned it into being personality based. I was ready
true.
to just get on those sweet tiny hobbits. Those big
That's
old
also
feet.
a thing I hadn't considered. Yeah, he's like 3 foot, isn't he?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah, I know,
Okay,
it's hard.
logistically, that's interesting.
Yeah.
What's the best cinema snack, do you think?
Oh, guys, it's got to be tangy fruits, but tangy fruits are dead, so it has to be popcorn.
What the
Always
fuck is a
popcorn.
tangy fruit?
Oh, a tangy fruit is tangy fruit. Oh, what is the equivalent of
A
it?
jujube?
No, it's hard. It's hard candy.
Okay.
It's a round ball. They had them in New Zealand, and you could only buy them at the cinema. So it's fully nostalgic. If you had one right now, you'd be like, fine. But for me, they're like pure nostalgia because that was like getting to go to the cinema. That's decadence. Oh, but if you could afford tangy fruits, oh, and they made so much noise when you're walking in, they're jiggling. They're not a good snack, Like when there's like packets that make noise and shit, and you're like in the middle of Schindler's List, and you're like jiggling around these really loud hard candy in a little plastic tub.
Sounds perfect.
I wish I could have saved more. They were discontinued. They also have they were very hard. So if someone dropped one on the ground, you heard it go all the way down. Which that might be showing like where I grew up or the level of cinemas that I went to, because a lot of listeners right now will be going, isn't there carpet on the floor? And I say, bless your fancy cinema.
We don't have a lot of carpet floor in the States.
Really?
No, it's like linoleum because it gets sticky.
Yeah, I'll
from the
get real
soda pop.
sticky.
Yeah, sticky stuff.
I don't like that sticky carpet.
No, it's gross.
But popcorn is, and I will eat popcorn for days. I went to, when I was in Kansas City a couple of years ago, I went to the last screening of Terminator. I don't know, whatever it was.
Genesis.
Is that what was that?
Genesis?
No, Dark Fate.
Oh,
Yeah.
no,
I'm back and I'm a good guy. Fuck off.
I forgot they reanimated that.
Yeah,
man.
yeah. Oh yeah, right at the start too. Spoiler alert.
Oh boy.
But I got a large popcorn and they were like, "Oh, that comes with a free refill. Do you want it now?" And a large popcorn in Kansas City it's bigger than my car. And then they were like, "Do you want a refill?" And I was like, "Because we're going to close, we need to give it to you now." And he was looking around and he just got a box. Like it was just like a cardboard box and just like filled it with popcorn. And I was self-conscious because I was like, "Oh, what are people going to think when I walk in here with like 20 pounds worth of popcorn?"
Nothing.
Well, no, good news is it was Terminator Dark Fate, so no one else was at the movie. It was just me. It was just me in there having a great time with my popcorn. And I tell you what, that is the way to see that movie because I could heckle the screen. I could hang out as much as I want.
I think there's no greater experience than being like one of two people in a movie. Specifically, if you went to the movie together, it's like 4 people, all your friends, you're the only ones there, and you're like, oh, it's 11 in the morning.
Yeah.
Let's bitch about St. Vincent starring Bill Murray. Let's do it.
And I will say, like, I grew up watching Mystery Science Theater 3000, so I am awful for talking through movies. Like, I love watching terrible movies, and me and my older brother, we love to just talk through movies. I respect going to a movie. I won't talk if I'm at a movie and I'm in public and like that, but also that's part of why I'm like, can we just wait? I want to watch this at home. I want to watch this with Mike, and we're just going to talk shit and be like, what is going on?
My sibling Molly and I, we went to Avatar, the first one, like 4 times because it got to a point where it's in cinemas for so long that it was in the dollar theater.
Oh, yeah.
And then we would just talk through the whole damn thing because it was me and then like 5 other people that were in the back. So it was so nice to talk through a film.
It's exactly how James Cameron wanted you to see it.
Honestly, here's the thing, Jim. If you're listening, Jim, haven't seen the second one. I'll get on that. But also, I saw that 4 times.
Yeah.
I think I'm allowed to talk through one of them. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I gave you money so many times. But yeah, I love a terrible film to talk through. Speaking of films, I have another question about films for you.
I think that's most of what we're here for.
Yeah, I know. It's convenient thematically. What do you think my favorite movie is?
Ooh. Well, you just said that you're okay with terrible movies.
That's true.
How much are you okay with terrible movies? Is that a piece of your pride?
I enjoy watching just a film that you're like, who made this?
This is obviously like no judgment on you, but I feel like you're too good a person for your favorite movie to be trash. Like, I feel like we don't know each other very well, but I feel like you're someone who, like, you might put The Room in your top 5, but it's definitely not going to be, I think you're number 1. I mean, you brought up Avatar, and that seemed to come out of nowhere. You saw it. Have you seen any movies more than 4 times?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
We saw Return of the King 7 times in theaters. I accidentally watched Revenge of the Sith 5 days in a row.
If you haven't seen Revenge of the Sith, though, it's not good. So you've made a real bold choice there, and that's made it very hard for me to guess what your favorite movie is, because all of a sudden now I'm like, The Room, too good for you. If you're watching Revenge of the Sith,
I will fight you on this.
What, you're just like, and I'll be honest, I just watched the one scene where he murders those kids.
No, it was one of those things of like, I went to the premiere, and then I had friends that wanted to see it the next day, so I saw it kind of 2 times in 24 hours. You know, I'd go watch it again. And then I ended up seeing it with friends, and I ended up seeing it 5 times in a row.
I wanted to know what happened when he got to that higher ground.
Listen, I don't want to bring this up, a wee bit younger than you, so Jar Jar Binks hit perfect for me.
Hey, I loved Jar Jar, although he did have some...
There's some interesting racial undertones to that character, for sure. But
I'm making an uncomfortable face.
Yeah. But I'll say this. I enjoy that film. But anyway, what do you think my favorite movie is then? I would also say The Room is definitely worse than Revenge of the Sith as far as entertainment value goes.
Whoa. Yeah, no, you're right. You're right.
Does The Room have a cool lightsaber? Does he have a weird General Grievous scene?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
That's true, yeah. I also cannot be
honest. Hi, Anakin. How are you doing?
I like how your Tommy was always just the pitched up Arnold Schwarzenegger from before.
That's right.
Yeah. Oh, hi.
Oh, hi. It's me. I'm your brother. We're twins.
Oh, hi. I'm back.
That's exactly how he does it. I'm going to do it. I'll be back. Oh, okay. Well, I'll do it. Oh, hi. I'm back. He's like in the truck driving into the police station. Sarah, where are you? Sarah, I'm here. I have to kill you. That went into NoHo Hank from Barry real quick.
I couldn't say either way.
There we go.
All
right, good.
To see it, but I will believe you.
Yeah.
We've off the topic. What do you think my favorite film is?
Favorite film?
I'm going to demand an answer from you.
Demand an answer. I mean, I'm going to go with... I think I think Phantom Menace has to be, if you're watching Revenge of the Sith that many times and you had anything positive to say about Jar Jar, I'm hitting Phantom Menace because that was Jar Jar's shining moment.
That's true. For a while, I would say you were correct for a minute, but it's not my favorite anymore.
A minute is how long people should watch the Phantom Menace
I
for.
will fight you on that. It's out of... Here's the thing about Star Wars, in my opinion. The films that we've had, when people complain about like the new ones that came out, it's like, they're like, only 2 out of the 5 were really any good. I'm like, that was the ratio before.
Yeah.
You know? So just enjoy Star Wars for what it is.
Oh, yeah.
Say. That's what I say.
I'm not going to tell anyone not to watch Star Wars, but I would prefer not to.
True.
And I went to the opening night of the Phantom Menace in Darth Maul face makeup.
Sick.
Wearing a Darth Vader themed I Want You Uncle Sam parody shirt. And I was on the national news broadcast for TV3. You can see me at the front of the thing being like, I'm so excited about Star Wars. And I was 37. It's not true. That is not true. I was a teenager.
It's so incredible how much like 5 years makes a difference with programming. Does that make sense? But it's not my favorite movie anymore, and I will never reveal what my favorite movie is.
Oh, I like that.
I got another question for you. Speaking of Star Wars, what Star Wars character do you want them to never make a Disney Plus film about or series about?
Series? Oh, yeah. Can it be retroactive? Because that Obi-Wan was really a pile of shit.
Yeah, it was not as... I'll say this, not as good as we deserved, I think.
Just not interesting. Come on. I don't need to see him fucking making sashimi for 2 hours.
That I enjoyed, but I didn't
World building, wonderful.
Yeah.
But like...
It was when you see him on his commute, you're like, I get that in the real world.
Also, they all finished work. This is my issue with... It was lazy making in my... So they finished work at what is legitimately a meat processing undertaking, right? You don't finish meat processing and just leave all the meat there. Like, he literally, the bell ring, he's like, brr, and he just goes, all right, I'm going home. No, you gotta fucking pack that shit up. You can't just leave it out there.
Maybe that's somebody else's job.
No, you're gonna come back and there's gonna be a bunch of dewbacks there being like, with stormtroopers still trying to ride them, being like, oh shit, Lucas didn't animate us properly. Why couldn't we have stayed as the model? They are dewbacks, right? Yeah. With the big old mouth. Right,
you nailed it. 100%.
Yeah. I was originally thinking bantha, but then I was like, that those guys are not eating meat, right?
No, not really, no. They're mostly plants. They're plant eaters.
Are they?
Yeah.
What did he take the meat home for? Didn't he take that to give to a band?
Eope, which is the little guy with the nose that farts in Jar Jar's face in Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. The best of the Star Wars movies.
Technically his favorite movie.
Technically.
What do I not want them... Who do I not want them to bring back? I mean... Fuck. Watto.
I've never heard that pronunciation of that character.
What's his name?
Watto.
Watto! There we go.
Sure. But Watto is, I think, better.
Watto.
But I'll say this. Pronunciation in Star Wars is kind of a free-for-all.
Yeah.
Which I love, because George was like, I don't know, just however you'd say it. And so for a while, he just said, oh yeah, the planet Hoth from Empire Strikes Back. He would just fuck around. Anyway, so Watto, you don't want to.
Yeah.
You don't want to see a junk dealer's life, day in the life? You don't want to see a...
Not from him. Not from him. Too sweaty.
What about this? Watto's younger brother, who inherits it after he dies. Would you be interested in that? Still a Toydarian, still CGI?
No.
No, not interested?
No. Make him animatronic and voiced by Clint Howard. Now I'm in.
Okay. You hear that, Disney? This is what the fans want.
Yeah.
All right.
Either that or Luke Speeder. I'm tired of people calling for more adventures of Luke Speeder. It's unsustainable.
Can I tell you, I love that idea because he does sell it in New Hope.
Exactly.
And you just follow this speeder.
Yep. Oh my God, it's exhausting.
Oh,
and they make
terrible.
it periodic, and they're just like each episode's a new owner of the speeder. It was contrived at best, and I'm sorry that you didn't enjoy my fan fiction, but there was no reason to ban my email address. All right, I'm up to episode 174. All right. In this episode, it gets new wheels.
Oh, so it reverts back.
No. It never had wheels before.
But now, okay. But
But now it has new wheels.
they're trying a new thing.
Yeah. And I'm not going to tell you where they are, but they're not on the bottom.
Who was your first character crush when you were growing up?
Oh, I think that it was an even tie between Sarah and Jareth from the Labyrinth. Yeah, and I'm not sure who wins because Sarah's adorable. Like,
Yeah.
I want to marry Sarah, but as soon as Jareth comes along, I'm like, well, I gotta see what's happening.
It's another Gollum Smeagol situation as well. Are you?
I don't think
Jareth
either
or
of
Sarah?
them are as wet as.
Not wet, but I think personality-wise, Jareth is David Bowie's character, right?
Yeah.
He's a trickster. He's a goblin.
Yeah.
And some people call Gollum a goblin incorrectly, but
the thing about Gollum's thirsty. All right, Jareth is just like,
Chilling.
he's chilling. He is taking it easy. He has stolen so many babies.
Too many babies, one might say.
No, I mean, he's building a kingdom. He needs as many goblins as possible to maintain that fucking hedge. Right? That maze doesn't trim itself.
What you don't know about it is Jareth, the reason he keeps needing to steal babies is because the working conditions are just terrible. The goblins would just unionize. We wouldn't have this problem.
Yeah, well, he's constantly worried that they're going to unionize,
Yeah.
he keeps having to come up with insane ways to keep them in play. He wants them to feel a value, which is why he's like, you have to defend me from these teenage girls who keep trying to break into the castle. And they're like, oh my God. And he's like, yeah, they're trying to steal our new baby.
The thing we all agreed on and wanted in our lives.
Yeah, well, I mean, there is a possibility. I mean, depending on what you believe in the lore, is either that baby is the next Goblin King or that baby is going to be transformed into a goblin. At which point, all of those goblins are like, oh, there's a new version of us that we want. Look, this is not why I fell in love with Jared. It's just that handwork on those balls.
Yeah.
And then you find out it's not even his hand, and I'm like, well,
I got 2 more questions for you before we get in the game. What movie monster do you want to fuck? And it can't be a vampire.
Man, this podcast is a lot more
horny.
sexual than I realized.
It's horny. It's a horny podcast because I think it's funny to make people think about the first time.
Yeah.
They wanted to fuck Godzilla or whatever.
Oh, too big.
Yeah, too big.
Also radioactive, all right? That's a fuck
Fair
that's
enough.
going to get you cancer.
Worth it?
Worth it for Godzilla? I mean,
for the story alone.
I mean, for the narrative of this, it's going to need a dick, which all of a sudden means Godzilla's like, yeah, there's some real issues anatomically happening.
You don't want to see Godzilla hanging brain? Could you imagine having an edit? Kind of like, there's that edit of the Jurassic Park with the buttholes. Also,
I think
cats with
buttholes? Is that what is there?
No, there's both.
Oh, same guy.
Yes, he's into some weird shit.
Yeah. What are you up to? Oh, man, I'm really working hard on the new Batman movie. Buttholes again? Yeah, buttholes. It's tough with the capes. Do you put the butthole through the cape? Yeah, I make a little window for it. It's too much.
It's like a set of pajamas.
Yeah.
Old-timey pajamas.
What monster would I want to fuck?
Yeah.
Man, I'm not that horny. Like most of the monsters, I'd be like, you're all good. Like, you just fuck whatever you're going to fuck, werewolf.
Okay. I respect that.
I mean, maybe an Eye of the Beholder, like a beholder from D&D. That's a pretty fuckable monster. It's all eyes. It's got a lot of eye contact. I don't think it's got enough orifices that you could go to town. But we're talking movies.
Yeah.
So that's not relevant. Edit that
it's
out.
Not in the movie.
Well, it is. I think that it does sneak into the new movie at some
There
point.
you go.
Maybe. Sexy monsters.
Sexy monster.
My problem is that it's like if a monster is sexy
It doesn't need to be
enough,
sexy.
but we're going, what would you want to fuck? So by definition, I'm ranking them in sexiness.
Well, I mean,
Unless it's like you're talking like other people have answered this in like very like masochistic ways where they're like, oh yeah, Godzilla would destroy me.
literally
To destroy me.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like, maybe Frankenstein, the original monster, because I feel like he'd be a tender lover.
Yeah.
But you'd have to be careful. I don't know what the sewing work is like.
I was gonna say, some kind of a patchwork down
A little bit of patchwork down there. What do you?
What if you're like Frankenstein's monster specifically from Young Frankenstein?
like-
I want to fuck Frank Boyle.
Yes.
Specifically.
Yes, it's after the dance number.
Yeah. Oh, just the charisma.
No, I can't say no to a patchwork monster that can tap dance. I will specify I need Young Frankenstein as June Wilder to watch.
Final.
And encourage, all right? I don't want some weird judgmental watch.
You're doing such a good job. Way to go, my creation.
Steven, you need to stop making that sound. The monster will make that sound.
I think he doesn't like it. Finally, why is Austin Powers so sexy? What about it?
Oh, this is another Schmiegel Gollum situation.
Oh
You're
my
telling me
God.
Austin Powers is the sexy one? What about Dr. Evil?
Okay. Yes, and
Austin Powers, again, we're entering into, he's too thirsty, all right? He's like, oh, yeah, baby, dial it down. Dr. Evil is like, I feel like, Austin Powers is like, you're so lucky to be here.
yeah.
I can't handle that kind of attitude, all right? Dr. Evil's like, thank God someone is going to love me when I look like this. And I'm like, bro, you look like Austin Powers bald. We're all good.
I really appreciate you coming over.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, where's Mini-Me? I was told this was going to be a teamwork.
I'm going to make you come 1 million times.
That's too much. I'm back on Austin.
No. That's very funny that you're the first person that's ever brought that up. Oh, excellent answers.
How dare
well
they?
done. You ready for the game? We're going to get a random
Sure.
word. It is function.
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 This really is a random word.
It
I
really
thought it
is.
was going to be nouns.
No, I have randomwordgenerator.com.
All right, what's the game? What are we doing?
Okay. We're making a movie plot based off of the word function.
Oh, yeah.
So, I have a couple ideas of where it could go. I feel like function would be fun to do, about a guy who's trying to make a like Chuck E. Cheese style restaurant for kids, and it's like the fun chun, like a fun station with a little. It's a stretch. It's a bit of a stretch.
Such a stretch, but it
it's,
worked.
but it's good. Like I'm like function, conjunction. What's your function? Oh, there's a train there. Oh, so it's there. Anyway, that's.
Are we
mind.
yes-anding that, or are we pitching back and forth?
Well, that's
what's
an
your,
idea. Or
what's
if
your
you
goal?
have one, we.
Well, I don't want to dilute it. If we have that, we can just do that.
We can either do that, or you can add a little zhuzh to that. You can yes and it, or you can do an alternative. Generally, what I do is if we both come up with disparate ideas, I try and merge them somehow.
Okay.
So if you have an instinct, like that's where my mind went first. Or, it could be about the guy making Viagra for the first time.
Oh no, it doesn't need to be about dicks.
No, it
All
doesn't.
right, it'll
It'd
get
be
there.
too horny.
It'll get there. It's so horny.
Too horny. I didn't realize how horny of a podcast this was. And
How did you not? All
I
of
don't
your
know.
questions were.
I guess
I didn't. I
that's
had
you.
no idea.
I guess it's. I mean, this is.
If you had to fuck a camera, which camera would it be?
A DSLR. I will say this about this, Steven. It means I'm comfortable enough with you to be like, because there's some guests that I don't answer because there's a list of them that are random. I kind of just pick them.
Okay.
It means like I feel comfortable enough to you, and I think you're going to
Yeah.
be a good sport about it.
Oh yeah.
As opposed to like,
Hopefully.
there are other people, and if you've gone, I don't like this. Genuinely, I'd be like, okay, I have other questions. If you're like, I'm not into this. This is too much, man. But
I'm fine with it. It was
Okay,
great.
good.
So the movie is Function.
so it was good for you.
Function. It is. So we're doing. I think we stick with Chuck E. Cheese. We got it's a Chuck E. Cheese type. But what I'm doing is I think like it's short for like work function. So it's Chuck E. Cheese. It's a guy who, and I'm picturing like the kind of movie that like 20 years ago Dane Cook might have starred in.
Okay.
Like, yeah. And so he's like, I'm running this like event. Like, it's this like, it's Chuck E. Cheese, but for adults. So he buys like, and I'm throwing in some elements of like, we bought a zoo.
Sure.
So like, he buys an old Chuck E. Cheese. Maybe we set it in an area that's like a bit run down or has like, maybe it's a community in Detroit that he's trying to build up or something. But he buys like a burned out Chuck E. Cheese. And like, this is his chance to create a space where like work functions can come, and they can have a great time and they can have like affordable pizza and they've got like, but like, I think that it's like the story of that space opening and like the opening night function and everything that goes wrong.
Okay. I like that a lot. I feel like at the end of it, what do you think about it being haunted?
I think we need to move that to the middle.
Okay.
We can't have that be the end of it.
Okay.
Are we talking Night of the Museum haunted or Poltergeist haunted?
Like Poltergeist. Like it takes a switch. Like the first act is like all the things we've been saying. It's like kind of a quirky comedy. We get like maybe Ryan Reynolds in to play the lead. And then the middle chunk is, oh my God, no, it's cursed. It's haunted. And it's got to be... I mean, that's leaning a little too Five Nights at Freddy's-ish, maybe. But,
yeah.
But I like the idea of, like, murders happening. I don't know why.
Okay.
Maybe it's because...
Yeah. So it's
What about this? Sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm thinking it's a Chuck E. Cheese, but, like, it's also got a little bit of, like, not saw, but just a little bit of that, like, what they don't know is that when your event function goes there, you're not all coming out.
That is the exact suggestion I was going to also say. Yeah. So, but I feel like it could be, he's specifically inviting, like, billionaires here to do work functions. Like, he's pitching it as a hip new thing, and he's trying to slowly just rid the world of the 1%.
Oh, my gosh. So here's my pitch.
Okay.
It's random average Americans. So it's a small group of just the most generic Americans possible that he has gathered together to have a work function in this place. What we find out is none of them are average Americans. All of them are billionaires who have been told to come to this party where it's like a murder mystery party where they're all told, be the most average American you can. So they're all trying to be normal. And he knows that. And so he's slowly trying to weed out. There's a little bit of like a battle royale kind of vibe, a dystopian, so they all start to realize that they're billionaires and that they are like, wait a second. Because they're starting to recognize each other. They're starting to go, holy cow, I think this is this person who's from here who does these things.
Yeah. And then obviously I feel like there's like, I know that person, what's going on? Chunk.
Yeah.
The gates close. And then someone's in the ball pit and they're like, what happened? I was in the ball pit. I didn't realize what's going on. I think that would be a funny tag at the end if someone was like hidden in the ball pit the entire time and then it got up and there's just like a bunch of dead people and they're like, what the fuck?
What? I passed out.
Yeah. I like
just
that
an Andy Samberg like Napster style billionaire where he's like not an active billionaire at all. It's just like, wait, what?
Huh? I guess I won? What? I like that a lot. I think that's good. I think we can also assemble a star-studded cast of these billionaires. That's very popular these days.
Oh, yeah.
And then...
Without going too knives out about it. That's like, my instinct was, I was like, oh, I want Dave Bautista in there. But it's like, I feel like he's doing okay.
He's doing quite all right for himself.
But he would be a great red herring of like, bring him in and he's the first to go.
For sure, yeah. I think one of my favorite things is when a movie hires a really famous person and they die in the first 5 minutes.
I'm looking at you, Steve Coogan in Tropic Thunder. Oh, you said a really famous person. All right, my bad. Man, they really I was so heartbroken. I was really looking forward to him in that movie.
Oh, that's very good.
And I was like, I'm having the best time. Steve Coogan's here. We're all having a great time. Oh, okay, he's done.
Oh, damn.
Oh, Jesus. But we're sticking with the blackface? Oh, God.
I am the dude playing a dude disguised as another dude, as I recall, is the line. I've never seen that film, but it's crazy that he got an Academy Award nomination for that.
Did he?
Yeah, he
Did
lost to
he?
Heath Ledger.
Did he though?
Yeah.
Did he? Oh God.
We kind of all knew Heath was going to get it, so I think they just were like, yeah, why not?
Yeah, they're like,
Fuck
I
it.
don't know, throw it in.
It's like, I guess Iron Man also came out that year. We got to give him something.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, so I like that being. So that's the first two acts. How do you think it ends? Like they obviously have to go through all these trials and tribulations. You know, there's games or whatever. And
I think. Yeah, because we gotta like, what are the stakes? Why are the billionaires all here? I think the billionaires are here for morbid curiosity. They all want to know what humans are doing. Like, what does a normal person do?
Yeah.
So they're like, oh, they go to Dave and Buster's, and they're like, oh yeah, you're at this like Dave and Buster's-esque place, and you're just being a normal person having a normal time. And so I think like the
poor person cosplay, yeah.
Literally, yeah. That to me is
LARPing.
that's the social satire of it.
Yeah.
Is that like they should be having a great time, you know, like drinking weird, like, you know.
I like this idea of like one of the billionaires goes up to a staff member. He's like, "Oh, Jim, you're here." He's like, "Yeah, I'm playing an overworked person. Isn't this kind of fun? You know, I've had 7 Red Bulls.
Oh, yeah, I'm doing great.
Yeah, that's very good. I agree with that. I think that's very fun. And then they all get trapped.
Yeah. And then the resolve, like, probably should be that it's a heist. Like, it has to be them. Like, I would love it if it's them, like, redistributing wealth, you know, of like, oh, okay, great. We've got all of these things going on. And then the outcome is that it's like, oh, actually, what we're doing is we're culling all of the rich people.
I think I agree. I think that's great. And I feel like what could work with that is at the end of every puzzle, it's always like, well, if you have to kill this person, or you have to give me X amount of dollars. You have to, you know, sell all your stock.
Oh my God, wait. So,
and then they kill him anyway.
So when the person dies, I think they give them the story of that person, and like they let all of the individuals, they go, how much would you like to donate to this person's family? And so they have like fake families that they've lost. Like, it turns out he has a son who can't walk. Oh, he has these things. What would you give? And it's all like, so for them, they're like, oh, well, I have to give this and I have to give this. But it's actually just taking the money from the billionaires, because they're like, oh, we got to know him, we want to help him. But it's like, no, none of that actually existed.
Yes.
And then I kind of would love at the end for like almost a cabin in the woods feeling. So it's like we actually zoom out from the resolution, and this is happening not just at like the Chuck E. Cheese is just the American version of it.
Yeah.
And then it's like you go like there's a Japanese version where they're all like hanging out at one place. There's a French version where they're all like, oh, we're all just like normal people. And so it's just taking these ultra rich people from around the world and then redistributing their wealth in insane ways.
I like it as a movie and as a plan.
Yeah. Maybe the money goes to like the actual workers.
Yeah.
So the workers are trying to get the more and more sob stories.
Yeah.
So that all they're doing is like,
they're trying to cash it in. Yeah.
Well, and so then you could have the workers constantly be telling them the other people's backstories. They're just like, oh, I'm so sorry about your son.
Yeah. Oh, that's so good.
Oh yeah, you see that guy over there? Oh yeah, well then, you know, like, oh yeah, he lost it. His whole family died in a plane crash, and what the worker knows is that the person they're talking to owns like a fictional version of Boeing.
Yeah.
And so they're like, oh yeah, well he's been really struggling, you know, like he worked at a steel mill and then his whole family died, and so they can be given their own little cards at their murder mystery party. So that like when people come and talk to them, there might be a scene where one of them is like, and then he has to go to the bathroom, and he's in the bathroom. That might be the reveal, is like he pulls out just a little card that has his information, and he's like, oh yeah, I'm a steel worker. So he has to go back, and you have like, because like we know, like not we know. A lot of people would know when someone does not know anything about steelworking. Yeah. But how cool would it be to watch like these billionaires pretending to know what they're talking about?
Absolutely. That'd be so good.
And they're like, haha, I'm tricking them.
Yeah. Absolutely talking out of their ass. That's very good. I think how many? 5 billionaires or more?
Ooh.
Because like I'm like we can't go too crazy with it because it can't be
8 gives us a good disposable amount.
true. You have a couple kind of
Depends on how many you want to get. Like, because I think if you had 8, you could lose 4, and then you can go like, oh yeah, what's moving on from here?
Yeah.
You know, like then you've got your 4 that you care about, so you can build up.
Mm-hmm.
Because then you've got those like that Steve Coogan character where you're like, oh, I'm deeply invested. Oh, he's gone.
Yeah. I like that a lot. 8's good.
Because someone like John Cena would be amazing to have like come in, and you're just like, oh man, where's? Oh no, he's dead.
Yeah. His head's gone. It's just absolutely off his shoulder. I like that's with John Cena. That's one.
Mm.
Who else do you think?
So we got John Cena. I love Steve Coogan, so I'm going to put him in there.
Okay.
If we can get away with it, I would. If we can get away with it, I would love to have Tina Fey in there. Like,
sure, yeah.
Tina Fey playing like a magazine magnet would be like amazing. Like someone who's like, she runs like a Vogue.
Can we get Meryl Streep to reprise her role from Devil Wears Prada? I think that would be very good.
Actually, having it would be a fun rule to have is like everyone's people who have played billionaires before. So you have like Jesse
Eisenberg,
but they're not, like, so he's been running like a social network kind of thing.
Oh, that's very good. Oh, okay.
But I would say those are all the people that we lose. Like anyone who's got those are the people that we.
Yeah, they're gone immediately. Michael Fassbender's there in like a turtleneck, Steve Jobs style.
Yeah. I would kind of love the stakes to be that they all think that they're competing for a space on like the first rocket to Mars or something.
Yes.
Is that it's like that's the like ultra contrived concept.
I agree.
Is that you have like like you're gonna get off Earth. Like, we have the technology because then you can subtly have like they start to talk about space travel every now and then, and you're just like, wait, what? What are you talking about? And then it'd be great because one of them can discover like the showroom, so that there's like, so it turns out that before the function, they'd all actually been here. And they all came in one at a time to look at the showroom to be sold their trip to Mars and what was waiting for them on Mars. But of course, it's all fake.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that wonderful thing of like them taking, phone calls from Mars, and it's like, oh no, that was just a video. Like there's no way you can tell.
It's just, somehow they didn't notice that it was an animatronic mouse.
Yeah.
It's like somehow reconfigured. Oh, that's very good. I like that a lot. Okay, so that's a great setup. Great. And the conclusion is it's all white out and it's happening everywhere.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that every country is doing their own version of this. And then you like zoom out from that and then you zoom all the way to Mars.
And they're doing it. They're trying to get people to Earth.
Mars has their own version.
Yeah.
Are they Martians or are they humans on Mars?
Well, I think they're Martians, and it's just the same shit. It just turns to the camera. It's like, same shit everywhere, you know? It's cut to black with the tongue and the sickle going. Hard cut. No, I like that a lot. Okay, I like it zooming out to Mars, and it's still there, and it's doing it. That's good. And is that the end? Do we have our movie?
Well, we don't know who is the puppet master.
Who is the puppet master? Stay with me, Larry David. It's pretty.
Oh God! If we can give him a toupee. And narratively, it is a toupee.
It's a diegetic toupee.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's.
Alternatively, Diego Luna's quite good. He's a very good actor. I think it's like got to be a team of people because it can't just be one person because that kind of goes antithetical to the idea of like collective action. So I feel like we have to have like a team of like 4 to 8 people to kind of counteract billionaires.
I think I'm getting a little bit of a vibe as we go on that there might be like a Jurassic Park style control room.
Yes.
So
absolutely.
you've got like, you need to build your team of who, like Larry David is, whatever the dude is, Jurassic Park guy, the old man.
John Hammond.
Yeah. And then I think he has his team, one of which I'd love to be Nick Kroll.
Okay.
Like, I just feel like throw
right.
him, because he's going to be the like, he's like, I'm into this, but maybe this isn't right.
Oh, like the voice of dissent.
Yeah.
Like he thinks it's really cool up until someone actually dies.
Yeah, I think he's having really fun. He's having a lot of fun, but as he gets to know the people, he's like, oh, billionaires are also people.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, yes, did you not know that? They're just not good people. And he's like, no, I didn't realize. I thought they were like cartoon characters. I thought they were Dr. Evil and we were like saving the world. It's like, yeah, that's what we're doing.
Yeah, that's absolutely what we're doing.
He's like, I don't know. That guy was crying real hard.
Yeah, he's missing a hand now.
Yeah.
I don't know. He's going to be different for the rest of his life. Well, luckily, it's not very long. He's going next. Fair enough. Okay, so Larry David, Nick Kroll, Diego Luna, who's just hanging out.
Yeah, just there. What is Diego Luna from?
Andor and Rogue One.
Oh, yes.
Probably where you know him from. And it would be great. A singular woman in this cast would be good.
Just one. We do have some already.
Yeah,
we do,
true,
but
true.
definitely
Tina Fey, yeah.
in the control room, we also want
a woman would be good, and a very funny woman.
I think Parker Posey.
Sure.
Like, do you not like Pat?
I've never seen her in
You've never seen her? Like, you never watched, like, any of the, Best in Show?
Oh, yeah. Okay. No, this means I know the name and I don't know who she is.
Okay, yeah.
So, yes, absolutely. Put her in there.
Like, any of that ensemble I would love. Like, either a Parker Posey, Jennifer Coolidge would be amazing as a billionaire, but we just did White Lotus, but I feel like if you could get her to play like a really onto it billionaire, then that is like overwhelmed by what's going on, I think she would be really fun in that of like when she knows exactly what, because she very much plays, often her characters are like overwhelmed by life.
Yes.
And she plays that so well. So it'd be cool to have her play someone who has got their shit all the way together, is nailing it, but then as soon as she's put in like pretending to be a normal person, she's like, this is too much.
What about this? The extreme version of that is she can't handle it. She's trying to lie to like get out of the game, And then she's like, I can't handle this. She grabs the gun and kills herself. She's like, gets so overwhelmed.
Why are there guns in here?
Why not?
This doesn't seem nearly as contrived as dying by air hockey.
True. Or like something she like just. She taps out. She's like, I see what's happening. I know I'm not gonna win this. I'm the master of my own destiny.
Yeah. In fact, she could be like a later in the movie loss. I kind of would like for her ending to be almost ambiguous, of like she taps out, so she like she makes her way through some other stuff, and then she goes out an exit. And when she goes out the exit, she's on like a sound stage. And she's like, what the fuck? Yeah. And like you realize like, oh, these guys, like, this is a much bigger thing that's going on.
Oh yeah, this is a full Truman show.
Of like, yeah, like it's like a beautiful giant white sound stage where it like zooms out from her and then just goes to black. And then just cuts back to the rest of them like hanging out, having a great time. And you're like, fuck, what happened to her?
That's very
Actually,
good.
I'd want the door closes as it's zooming out.
Yeah, and she turns and then
Yeah.
Oh,
So that might be
so
she.
good.
Actually, she should be the one who finds the room that has all of the like you're going to Mars shit in it.
Oh,
so that she's like, oh no, like this is, and I think that would be because she's like, this is too much. I got to get away from. I can't pretend to be poor. I think would be her kind of motive.
I feel disgusting.
Yeah,
I can't do it.
Like, oh god, yeah.
I need a cigarette. Oh, that's so good. Oh, you know who'd be very funny, doing a fun billionaire character? I think Seth MacFarlane. Get him in there.
Yeah.
He doesn't do enough live action stuff, I think. And when he does, it doesn't work. But I'm willing to give him a go.
I would either let him be a billionaire or, and hear me out, because we are at Dave and Buster's, right? What is the
Ted?
Showtime Pizza?
Yes, Showtime Pizza Bear.
Yeah.
But
what if, he's the lead. He is the leader of the Showtime Pizza band that's in there. Because obviously that's going to be slightly murderous. But it means he can sing.
Yes.
So it means that he, like, you get this giant animatronic, like, maybe something that's, like, completely not great for that. Like, he's, like, a giant, like, for some reason, the band is made up of just not common animals, so...
like a praying mantis?
Yeah, like, the guitarist is a praying mantis.
I was thinking on the keys.
On the keys.
Going ting, ting,
Yeah,
ting,
I'm into
ting.
that. I feel like the lead singer's a capybara.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, and so
Completely
that's him.
stoned.
Yeah. Just wearing, like, Ray-Bans.
Yeah, I think it would just like Joe Cool the camel.
Yes.
I think what would be great as well is you can have like a nice little reference, like, oh, I thought it would be a bear. It's like, who would want to see a movie about a talking bear?
Yeah.
Okay, I like that a lot. Good note. Good. That's very fun. I think also Mae Martin would be fun in the control room.
Who?
Mae Martin, they just had a comedy special on that show, Feel Good. I just watched all of it. They're a very funny stand-up comedian.
Yeah.
And I think they're Canadian and kind of awkward and quirky, and I think having them there would be fun energy to bring. Cool. Who do you think should direct this motherfucker?
That's a great. I mean, it's either Jordan Peele.
Great.
Or possibly whoever directed Knives Out.
That'd be Rian Johnson.
Oh, yeah, sure. Has he ever ruined any Star Wars movies?
no.
Arguably?
I would say no.
All right, good.
Definitively, no.
Shaking it. What about? No.
Yeah, it was weird that he brought Jar Jar Binks back into the... No, Rian Johnson or...
To be fair, though, I do think, like, the thing about those are both people who would nail the genre, because I'm also very open to, like, if you gave this to the Coen brothers, I'd be very, like...
That'd be very different. That'd be very funny.
Yeah. And all of a sudden, I mean, you do that, and all of a sudden we got George Clooney in there.
That's true. True.
Yeah, it would be kind of, I mean, if you're looking at, like, an absurd buddy movie, is like the two guys who are running it are Larry David and George Clooney.
And people keep hitting on Larry David, but not George Clooney.
And he's like, but I'm right here. Yeah, he's very aware that he is, like, as handsome as George Clooney.
Yeah, I think also George Clooney then could be like a psyop of Bill. He is in on it, obviously, but he's pretending to be a billionaire who's pretending to be a normal person. Does that make sense?
Yeah, or like the manager. Like, he could be on the floor hanging out and doing stuff. But yeah, also it could be, I'm not against an undercover, normal guy.
Yeah, I think that'd be good.
And then the twist is that he's actually trying to take the money.
Oh, that's good.
Because especially we'd use misdirection so that you think Larry David's trying to steal the money and not redistribute it, but it turns out that it's actually George Clooney's character.
Ooh, then what happens to him?
Because he got way too into when they were like, you're going to be pretending to be a billionaire, pretending to be a normal person.
He Daniel Day-Lewis himself.
Yeah, is that he's like, no, I need to live. Like, in his mind, he's like, I am a billionaire and I deserve this.
Because he did so much prep work that where he was living as one. Oh, that's so good. That's very funny. But then he has to... He's got to go then. He can't be successful about it.
Yeah.
Ooh, I think he should be eaten by something.
I mean, probably maybe a praying mantis that plays the keyboard. He'd be the one that...
so good if, it turns out it's like you thought these were animatronic, but they're real. It's a giant. We have genetically modified a praying mantis.
That would be exactly... This is where Nick Kroll is important, because now he...
Only time that's ever been said.
This is where it turns out, like, they were like, oh, we hired you to do this because you are so good at robotics. And he's like, well, my real passion is actually genetics. And it was just that he genetically engineered the band and then programmed them to, like...
That's too good. And that's also, obviously, they have to get loose in the third act then, because then it's pressure on Larry David and the crew to get the money out as soon as possible, because they are also all of a sudden in danger.
Yeah, now they're also at risk.
Oh, that's so good.
And then the billionaires are all like, just get us to the rocket. Get us to the rocket. Like,
you schmucks, there's no rocket. I don't know what to tell you. Oh, That's very good.
Yeah.
Oh, that's very, very
And
good.
like the after credit scene is just it is Seth MacFarlane voicing a giant capybara that is like chewing on like Larry David's wig. It's- Singing "Luck Be a Lady" in between bites. Luck be a lady.
Oh, I think we have a winner. I think we have a winner.
Is that how this normally works?
Yeah.
It sounds expensive. We're gonna need at least 200 mil to get this made.
Yeah, I don't think. I'll talk to my angel investors. I think it'll be fine. I think we got a winner. I think we solved cinema. I think there will be no problems in cinema after this.
I mean, it's got emotion and it's got story.
Yeah, and it's got being projected on a screen.
Yeah. And like, I'm not saying it has to be, but probably should be shot in IMAX.
Oh, I love a big camera.
Yeah.
That's the camera I'd want to fuck. I'd want to fuck an IMAX
Too much
camera.
pressure for me.
Oh, no. Give
That
me.
thing
I
is
love
huge.
a challenge. I'm like Edmund Hillary. I point to it and I go, yes. On top of that, I want to be.
I'd be lucky if I could do an 8mm.
But
Ah.
hey, yo.
Oh, ha-ha.
All right.
Hey,
I
yo.
don't get no respect.
Was an IMAX 10 inches?
I couldn't tell you.
No, it's like 1 inch. How big is IMAX?
I couldn't tell you.
You don't know how big an IMAX film frame is?
No, I couldn't.
I thought that was common knowledge.
No.
I'm just brain farting. Normally, I know exactly how big is a 35mm. Like, is that like 2 inches? You're so mad. Your face when you're just like, I don't. Do I tell him he's an idiot?
No,
or does he
I don't.
know?
I don't know. My brain is also on fire because I'm like, I've never conceived of it that way.
Like how big a 35mm frame? It's 35mm.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
exactly how. I know that,
Yeah.
but I don't know how many inches that is.
Oh, like, oh, I think an inch is about like 2.5 centimeters.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't need to know this. You're American.
That's true.
I am sure at some point the whole world will go back to imperial measurements and you will be fine. I'd say I'm 100% sure, but I think I'm 12 out of 10 sure because there's a reason we moved on. You don't get to do percentages. You guys had your chance. You're like, no, give us inches.
Well, I'll say this. Some countries adopted our dollar system because
Your dollar system is metric.
I know.
You don't get to say that.
Listen, here's the thing. I fucking don't get me started. I've been trying to use metric systems since I was like 12, and everyone's like, "Go fuck yourself." And it's like fair enough, but also, ugh. Do you want to do a lightning round?
Let's do it.
Okay, so the
Lightning round.
So we each do a pitch on the same word. The word is elite. So mine is about a young man who wants to get into a grammar school for boys and then realizes in doing so he's gay and has to come to terms with that. And it's a nice little like coming of age story.
Yeah. Elite. It's the year is 1990 Olympic Games.
That's the Olympic Games is the year?
Yeah. Because I don't know when
Olympic
I don't want to
Games
say
year for
92 or 94 or some shit because someone will be like, hey, no, blah, 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 blah. No. All right. It's the Winter Games. Okay. And this is a skier who is the best skier in the world. Elite skier.
Mm-hmm.
Starring Will Ferrell.
Perfect. No notes. Meat. M-E-E-T. Meat.
Oh.
Yeah. Meat is for me, meat means a guy who is who's adopted and is trying to track down his biological family.
Ooh.
He's trying to meet them.
Mm-hmm. Meat is a beautiful romantic drama in the vein of Sliding Doors, but with a handing baton situation. So it is the story of how two people meet, and then it becomes a sliding door situation of what if they hadn't met. So every time those two meet and fall in love, that's their meet cute. That's also our chance to sliding doors. So we move through handing the baton across each of 5 couples as we realize that no one has one true soulmate. We're all just lucky to meet someone.
That's lovely.
And the tagline is meet, fuck your friends. Wait, no, that's not. I think we may have undercut this.
I want to end on that because that's I like that sentiment. But what do you want people to listen to this podcast to know about you?
To know about
Yeah, do you have
terms of plugs
yeah,
or in
plugs,
terms of
anything you want people to find. If not, if you just had a good time, that's also okay.
Yeah, you can find me on Steven Lyons Comedy on Facebook or SteeelyOns on TikTok. Instagram, I don't know, that's a thing. You can find me on there as well. If you like podcasts, which there's a high potential you do because you made it all the way to this one and all the way to the end of this one, I have a beautiful back catalog of a wonderful podcast called I'll Be Back Catalog, which is every Arnold Schwarzenegger movie from the beginning in chronological order. You don't have to watch them. You don't have to listen to them in order. Just grab one that you like. It is myself and another comedian named Mike Kevin, and we have 2 New Zealand comedians on every week that we did it. We made it all the way through, I think, to Eraser. There are a lot. There's like 40 movies that we did.
That's a lot of movies. He's got new ones out. Are you going to bring it back?
We will, as soon as Mike's son is chill.
Okay, cool. That's very nice. That's a great concept for a podcast, I think.
Yes, we do, and we go through. It's actually we do pitches, we do reboots, we talk
Nice.
about the movie, we talk about people's experience with action movies, and also just their experience with Arnold Schwarzenegger because he's such a big character and he does cross over a lot of age and
Yeah, he does.
Like he's a big old personality.
That's true. Can't believe he was the governor. I kind of forget about that of California. If you're listening to this podcast and you want to support this podcast, you can go to tristanmiller.substack.com and you can get early access to the episodes, and I do film reviews there and essays and all sorts of good stuff. So check it out there. Thanks so much for doing the podcast. It was great.
Oh my God, I had a blast. This is great. I can't wait to find out what happens at the function. Function. You'll be lucky to be functioning. We'll work on the tagline.
Good night, everybody.